Do you need to be arrested right now? No. Okay. Let's stop. Come on. Come on.
I'm going home.
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number.
You know what? Put him in jail for resisting.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I want your name and badge number too, sir.
Here are two cases when cops illegally arrest handicapped civilians, starting with 73-year-old Karen Garner.
There is new fallout from a disturbing video showing the violent arrest of an older woman with dementia.
On June 26, 2020, Karen Garner left a local Walmart without paying for items worth $14. The Walmart employees stopped her and took the items back. Garner offered to pay for the items, saying she had simply forgotten. However, she was reported to the police. As she walked back towards her home, Garner was stopped by Officer Austin Hopp and Daria Jalali of the Loveland Police Department.
All right, let's stop, ma'am. I don't think you want to play it this way. Ma'am, police, stop. You want to stop, lights on, siren, stop. You just left Walmart. Do you need to be arrested right now? No. Okay.
Even though Officer Hopp has explained the situation to Garner, she turns back to continue on her way, seemingly not understanding what she was just told.
No. Okay. Let's stop. Come on. Come on.
I'm going home.
No, on the ground. Stay on the ground.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
On the ground. On the ground. On the ground.
Garner keeps saying she is going home. She is visibly confused and still not understanding what is happening. That's because Karen Garner suffered from dementia, and anyone who has dealt with patients before can tell that she is exhibiting those signs.
All right. Stand up.
I'm not doing anything.
Right now you're resisting, which is not going to fly with me. And before that, you tried to steal from Walmart. And they caught you and took the stuff back. Stop.
I'm going home.
No, you're not. Are you finished? Are you finished? We don't play this game. You understand me? And if you try to kick me, oh, this is going to be bad.
I'm going home.
Stop.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
The officer tells Garner that she is resisting and puts her arms in a lock. But considering the physical state of the woman, this may constitute excessive use of force. That becomes even more evident as the officers haul her to the ground and put her in handcuffs.
Stand up! We're not gonna hold you.
All right, let's go to the ground. On the ground. On the ground. Why are you doing this? Let me see who she is.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to search her real quick.
Oh, I don't know. I'm pushing.
Oh, there we go. All right. Sit down.
I'm going home.
Sit down.
I'm going home.
Get in the cart.
In you go.
Do not hook onto him.
I'll come on the other side and grab her.
The officers try to force Garner into the police vehicle, but their forceful behavior has not gone unnoticed.
Where's your sergeant?
Huh? Who's my sergeant?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first, I can tell you that. Sergeant Metzler, he's at the police department. You can go talk to him if you have an issue.
Yeah, give me your car so I can put a report.
Okay.
I see you there, how you throw the little kid.
Little kid?
Well, I don't know
He's
if
not a
it's
little kid. And this is what happened.
He was just walking, and I see you how
She
you
just
grab him.
stole from Walmart and refused to stop, refused to listen to lawful orders, and to fight me. This is what happens when you fight the police.
Under different circumstances, the officer might have been correct in his assertion that this was all according to the law. However, he is certainly violating arrest protocols here. As we can see, Karen Garner does not present any threat to the officer. She is quite visibly in a state of shock and physically incapable of hurting the officers. And once we dismiss the possibility of self-defense, this conduct against a 73-year-old becomes shocking. However, he's about to continue handling the situation as aggressively as before.
All right. Here.
Pick your feet up. Pick your feet up.
Okay, let's get her out over here on the ground. We can hobble her, and then we'll get her in the car. On the ground. On the ground. On the ground.
We will figure that out. This way easy.
Stop doing that. All right.
If the officers had tried to take a step back and think about this situation, they would have realized by now that their suspect was perhaps suffering from some kind of disorder. But they seem adamant about getting Karen Garner under control and behind bars. After finally putting Garner in knots and inside the car, Officer Hopp goes to explain the situation to his supervisor, Officer Meltzer, who is here after the bystander notified him.
Did we catch her here walking on foot?
Yeah, she was walking right here. I hit my light siren. She kept walking. Said, "Please stop." Stop. And she looked at me, kept going, saying, "No, I'm going home." So I went up to grab her, started pulling away from me and stuff like that. So I was by myself, so I went to the ground. We struggled and rolled for a little bit.
I see that.
Yeah.
This is an important point in this arrest. Officer Hopp tells the supervisor that the suspect started to pull away from him. However, she was on foot and quite slow. There was no way that she could get away from the officers. It is also important to note that police officers are trained to look for visible and non-visible signs of disability. If the officer had relied on his training, he could have easily made a better decision.
Tailpin out to 200 with 219.
As it happened, the officers took Garner to the police station where more of the same followed in the presence of more officers.
Don't kick anybody. All right, Karen, you stay right there.
You should cuff her to
Got that? Oop.
I was gonna pay for it. I was gonna pay for it.
Hey.
I got her.
The police officers had restrained Karen Garner, but by this time she had a dislocated shoulder, a bloody nose, and multiple other injuries, all for $14 worth of items that were returned. A later surveillance video from the police station showed officers laughing and mocking Karen while looking at the body cam footage.
Body cams are my favorite thing to watch. I can watch live TV body cams all day.
I'm here.
I hate this.
Great.
I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it.
Austin Hopp expressed how he was proud of his behavior and said he knew that Karen Garner had popped her shoulder as he pushed it. The officers were also seen exchanging fist bumps. Garner's family brought forward a lawsuit against 4 officers. They accused officers of using excessive force, failing to provide Garner with medical care, and violating the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Is Elisa Swartz. She is Karen Garner's daughter.
The lack of empathy and the action of the officers that were involved. This isn't just only affecting my mom and my family. It's also affecting this whole city of Loveland.
Hopp is serving a 5-year prison sentence, while Jalali completed her 45-day sentence and is serving 3 years of probation. Sergeant Metzler resigned while the civil lawsuit against the police department was settled for $3 million. The case of Karen Garner left many question marks over police training and the capacity to navigate disabilities.
She didn't understand what was going on.
I watched the video and I thought to myself, how did he not realize she just keeps saying, I'm going home? Maybe there's something else at play here.
Right.
Maybe it's not the normal situation.
That's exactly what I had thought too. I was like, did he not understand because she's repeating?
However, at least in this case, the officers involved were held accountable for their actions, unlike those in this next video. 61-year-old James Hodges, an Army veteran from Lake City, Florida, was walking home from jury duty in the early morning of October 31st, 2022, when he was stopped by the local police on suspicion of carrying a firearm.
Hi there.
Hey.
What's this in your back pocket? I just saw you walking it.
The navigational aids. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Yeah, I am actually. What's your name and date of birth?
What the officer hadn't realized was that James Hodges was visually impaired and that he was only carrying a navigational aid in the early hours of the morning.
Actually, what's your name and date of birth?
I don't have to give that unless
Yes, sir. I was investigating.
You have reasonable.
Do you want me to put you in handcuffs right now? Yes, sir, I do.
What is your suspicion?
It looks like you're carrying a gun in your back pocket. I'm stopping to make sure you're carrying it properly.
Despite Florida's relatively permissive gun laws, open carry is still illegal under most circumstances and only allowed for fishing, camping, or hunting. So if the deputy, Sergeant Randy Harrison, thought James had his weapon showing from his pocket, she had a valid reason to make the stop.
Have you ensured that it's not a firearm?
No, you keep turning so I can't see it. You don't have to be a dick to me.
Well, you're being one to me.
No, sir, I'm doing my job.
Am I detained?
Once he proves beyond any reasonable doubt that he is not carrying a weapon, it should be the end of this interaction. Ideally, James should now be on his way home, but this is the baffling part. The officer insists on continuing her inquiry.
Yeah, you are. What's your name and date of birth?
It does not matter.
Yes, sir, it does.
Do you have a crime?
Would you like me
Call
to
your
put you in?
supervisor,
He's right
please.
here.
You can see here that James, maybe because he is a veteran, is well aware of the law and his rights. Since there is no crime, he does not want to give out his information and asks to take the matter to the supervisor. Unfortunately, things only escalated from there.
All right.
You don't.
Sir, what's the stop you for? For a walking stick.
So,
And it could look like a weapon. She asked you to present it, okay? Now she's asking me for ID. Okay. I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion that I have committed a crime, am committing a crime, or about to do a crime. Sir, and her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID. Well, now she has verified that I am not armed. Okay. So there is no problem. You have your ID or not? I do have my ID, but you don't need it, okay?
Despite his explaining the law in clear words, the officers are adamant about having their way, and they proceed with more unnecessary and partly illegal searches.
okay, where's your ID?
Where's your ID? In my pocket. Which pocket? You are not allowed to search me.
Thank you.
After the officers forcefully search James's belongings, they finally start to ask about his morning and his cane. But then the whole situation takes an unexpected turn.
Sir, you legally blind? Yes, I am. Okay. I had to walk up here in the dark for jury duty, which was canceled. Why aren't you using your stick? You don't have to use your stick all the time? Not all the time.
26.
Green.
All right, Mr. Hodges. Was that hard?
This was the most important moment of this whole interaction. The supervisor tells Officer Harrison to put James under arrest for resisting.
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number.
You know what? Put him in jail for resisting.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Resisting arrest in the U.S. is treated as a separate charge to the crime that is committed. So it is advised that you should not resist arrest even when the arrest is blatantly wrong. But what we see here is that James Hodges never resisted arrest. He was still respectful while exercising and reminding the deputies of his rights, which is why his demand for their badge numbers becomes even more important.
All right, let's go.
I want your name and badge number too, sir.
Have a seat.
You want to pick my property up, please?
I sure will, after you have a seat.
You want to pull this out of my back pocket?
Sure. Here, I'll grab your jacket for you, too.
James Hodges was charged with resisting an officer without violence, a misdemeanor, and taken to the Columbia County Jail, where he spent 26 hours. The charge was expectedly thrown out, but the incident became national news.
New tonight at 5, a visually impaired man arrested in Columbia County is now planning to sue the sheriff's office.
James Hodges and his attorney John Phillips held a briefing today in downtown Lake City. He says the body cam video speaks volumes and Hodges' arrest was unlawful.
This is not a weapon. This is an aid to a man who's legally blind.
The Columbia County Sheriff apologized, the arresting officers were suspended, and Officer Harrison was demoted. However, James Hodges has requested a separate proceeding and is seeking compensatory damages.
Well, I've always been the kind of person that don't really take things lying down. But I made up my mind to properly, and it is the law in Florida that you are supposed to resist unlawful orders. So I made up my mind to properly, legally, and as maturely as possible, given the circumstances, to fight back.
Despite the department's counteraction, it seems like the officers got off easy with this one. What do you think? Should there have been a harsher punishment for the officers involved? Let us know your thoughts on both of these cases in the comments below, and subscribe to Deadly Details for more videos from the world of law enforcement.